You think this debate is between $600 versus $2,000? Then you're a stooge. Welcome, everybody. Different location for Kevin Jackson today. I'm actually in Florida. My son is doing something with baseball on a travel team. So I'm broadcasting actually from a rental car. Anyway, 600 versus 2,000. That's what we're debating these days, right? Yeah, the Democrats only want to give away $600 per person. Now, the amount of money for the stimulus would give everybody $2,727 if they gave every American citizen their money. But instead, the Democrats want to give away 600. And President Trump says, no, let's do 2,000. And we're all cheering for that, right? We're cheering for the president who says, let's up the ante and give people back their own tax money, but don't give it all back to them. Just give some of it back to them. The government's going to redistribute our money, $2,727 per person, and the debate is between, do we give them 600 or do we give them 2,000? And we think we're winning because our side is saying, let's do 2,000. Now, let me tell you something, conservatives. If Barack Obama wanted to give away 2,000 and and the Republicans were talking about 600, we would be screaming at Barack Obama for wanting to give away $2,000 versus 600. And on the flip side, for you leftist skanky Democrats, if Donald Trump wanted to give away 600 and you wanted to give away 2,000, you would be excoriating Trump for wanting to give away $2,000 or give away $600 when you want to give away 2,000. So we're on all sides of this argument, which of course is a bunk argument because guess whose money we're playing with? We're playing with the taxpayers' money. So think about it this way, folks. We flipped the script. Conservatives are arguing to give away more of our tax dollars. Democrats are arguing to give away less of our tax dollars. And notice what I said at the end of each of those sentences. Our tax dollars, our money. And we act as if we're winning on one side of this argument or the other. Now, are people suffering in the time of this scamdemic, this plandemic? Yeah, there are some people suffering. And how about we give targeted money to those who are suffering, but we put a stipulation that if we give this money away, the governors must open up their cities. They must let these people go back to work. Let me ask you this, Americans who are so psyched up about this money grab. How long do you think this is going to last? How many stimuluses have we had over this stupid woo-flu nonsense? How many more will we continue to have? If you want to know what the end game is, let me break it down for you. Universal basic income. If we keep at it, we're just going to give people money for doing nothing the entire time. Let me ask you this. Do you think the average American needs this $600 or $2,000? Do we want it? Yes. Do we need it? Probably not. There's a handful of people who do need it. The hospitality industry, the restaurateurs, the food service people, maybe a few hotels or whatever. But let me tell you who's feasting during the time of this Democrat fake ruse pandemic scamdemic. Coroners, drug dealers. That's who's feasting because people are committing suicide. They're depressed. You want to know who else is feasting? Psychologists and psychiatrists. They are feasting because they are taking names on this ruse. When do we wake up? Either target this for the specific people who need it, but with the stipulation that you are putting people back to work. If the governors keep controlling what happens in their states, then when does it end? When do we stop? Cuomo, Gavin Newsom, you can open a strip club, but you can't open a church. People can't go back to their restaurants, and all of this shutdown has done nothing except prove that when you shut things down, your numbers spike. And what numbers are we talking about? We're talking about a bunch of fake numbers of people dying who haven't actually died of Wu flu. The number of people who have it is exponentially higher, and the number of people who actually die from this disease is low. And so what do? We're debating 600 versus 2,000. It's all utter nonsense. And I understand President Trump saying, you know what? We're going to play their game. When they give away 600, we'll give away 2,000. We'll make ourselves look like we're the party that gives money away. Well, ultimately, where does that get us? Does that make things better for the average American who's paying these taxes? Let me tell you, think about these numbers. $2,727 per person for this next stimulus. Take out the kids and the people who don't work under the age of 16. I don't know how many people that is, but let's just lop off 100 million people. So of the 338 million people that are going to get this $2,000+ check, $2,700, almost $3,000, you can lop off 100 million of them because they don't get any money. They're not working. They're not suffering in the time of Wu flu. So what about them? And then what about the number of people who don't work? The number of people who just flat out don't get a salary. They're not working. They don't do anything. What's that number? I don't know what it is, but I know this. It's got to be millions of people unemployed, on welfare, whatever. If you're unemployed, and whatever that percentage of people, and when I say don't want to work, haven't worked, been on welfare, you don't get a check. So when you boil that down, you end up with, I don't know, 100 million people or so that are actually working and paying the bills, footing the bills. We're the ones paying for all of this. So instead of paying $2,727 per person, which is what's coming out of theoretically every individual's paycheck, now you're talking about people putting a 3 or 4x multiplier because every time somebody else gets a check, one of us is paid for it. This is insanity, is what it boils down to. And the idea that we're debating it. We're debating yet another stimulus. How many trillions of dollars have we given away in Wu flu? I don't even have the answer. But I know this. It's more than 3 trillion. It's probably approaching 5 trillion. And where's this money going? Black holes. You saw what they put in this latest stimulus Wu flu farce. The first one, they were paying for museums and art and concert halls. And in this one, they're giving away money to illegals. They're giving away money to countries for who knows what, studying bat droppings. Does it matter? This is our money. It's not play money. It's real money being generated by taxpayers, hard-working, tax-paying citizens, aka mostly conservatives, because Democrats don't want to pay jack, as we've seen. They don't want to donate. They don't want to pay their taxes. It's all talk. And so when Pelosi and them talk about limiting the amount of money, by the way, let me explain that. That just means of the $2,727 that each person was to get, the Democrats want to steal the majority of it. Donald Trump was saying, no, we're going to give 2,000 of it back to the people, and we're only going to steal $727 per person. Not bad when you think about the whole thing in its totality, right? Trump is saying, we're going to put more money of your own money back in your pocket. And Pelosi's saying, no, we're not. We're going to put it into some other things that you're not going to even have a say about. But that's what we're debating. How much of our money do we get back? It is insanity when you think about it. So Trump wants to give you a little bit more of your money. Like, hey, I tell you what, I have a novel idea, government. How about we just keep our money and we determine who we help locally? How about that? How about that for this radical idea that the American people know what to do with their money better than the government? See, because that's what I think. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening, folks. And by the way, subscribe to my channel on YouTube and tell a friend or two before they take all our doggone money.